Welcome, ladies and gentlemen of the internet. This is Zachamus Prime, aka Zachamus Prime, bringing you another video review. This time we're going to be reviewing. I got you. I got some Voltron lions. They're the big ones too. And red one and the green one, like that. Yeah, Voltron. Woo! Anyhow, so we're reviewing the Playmates Voltron, and he's big. And the way I'm going to do this, because basically the leg lines are the same and basically the arm lines are the same, and I don't want to necessarily like split this up into a bunch of different reviews. I'm going to try and streamline this a bit, and I'm just going to do the arm lines together, the leg lines together, and then the black line, and then combine them all, show you the Voltron, and show you what's up about it. But let's get right into it. I guess we'll start with the leg lions. So here's the blue lion, and stop messing with my display, yellow lion. Jeez. So here they are. These are the Playmates version of the Voltron lions. These are the ones that are available in your local store, Walmart, Toys R Us, Target. I don't know, for 17, 18 bucks. I don't know offhand what they are in various places. And I gotta say, to summarize my review in a nutshell, and I know I'm going to summarize this, and you're going to be like, wow, thanks, bye. But these Voltrons are actually pretty good for the price. I'm not going to say that they're amazing Voltrons, but I think that they're pretty good for the price. They are all made out of solid plastic. You know, nothing really surprising there. If any of you have owned the 16-inch Legendary Defender Lion, it's basically the same engineering, just classic, the classic look instead of the Legendary Defender look. But it's basically all the same stuff, with one notable exception. Actually, two notable exceptions. I don't know. There's a few differences. I'll point them out. But the lions themselves are pretty good. Articulation is fairly standard. You get a ratchet here, and a little detent ratchet there. Back legs not ratcheted quite as heavily, but you know, you still get a good range of motion out of it. The heads are on this, like, it's almost like this, like, so there's a bar that connects that head through there, and it goes into the slot in the neck, and there's a ball joint in there, but because you have to move this bar around in the slot, like, you only get that much, which is good. You know, it's not bad, and you get, of course, full range of up and down, basically. That's nice. No mid-torso joint there. No, you know, anything in the middle kind of a joint, which is really interesting because it's got this detail right here. And that detail, the thing I don't really like about this is that they basically just ripped off the Solid Shigoken sculpt. And I know, yeah, they're the same thing, but like, there's enough variations of the classic 80s Voltron that you can pin down very specifically that this lion uses this sculpt almost exactly. And as I pointed out in my Solid Shigoken review, like, this lion is designed to move like that, have this really nice mid-torso motion, and that's what this little joint right here is for. Well, this Voltron has got that detail, but there's no movement there. Also, they left this space in here, which is something that Bandai left in that space so that they could put in, you know, what will become the ankle articulation. Ah, his tail fell off. ball joints. What can I say? Anyhow, and they retained that gap but didn't add the articulation. It would not have been difficult to add that articulation. But like I said, basically these are almost like a reshell of the legendary Defender Lions. It's actually one of the things I don't really like about this line as well, is that the jaws are spring-loaded. I kind of wish that they weren't so much, because I mean, if they're holding a weapon, which these guys do come with these weapons, I don't know, I haven't seen, maybe my buddy who loaned them to me forgot them or whatnot, but I didn't see the mouth blades for the smaller lions. Hopefully he didn't loan them to me, because the alternative would be that he did and I lost them somewhere. That'd be tragic, because they haven't even left the box that I got them in, so they shouldn't be anywhere except the box. But anyhow, so I mean, they'll hold them on those pegs just fine, but then they're also spring-loaded anyhow, so I don't know. I wish that they had... It's just, you get so many like good like roaring poses out of the lions, but this one you can't do that because the jaws are spring-loaded shut. So, whatever. Also, another piece of engineering that they didn't carry over is all of the Solo Chigoken ones have got a little pop-up weapon here, and there's nothing like that on these. But, you know, c'est la vie and all that jazz. In terms of other things that the Solo Chigoken lions were the only lions to come with the parts to make the weapons until now. So these ones, each lion comes with one spring-loaded weapon and one just attach-on weapon. And so you can gear them all up like the Solo Chigoken lions, which is cool. And they've got little spring-loaded things that you can push, and it shoots all 3 missiles at the same time, which, you know... Oh, dang, that went far. Wow, that went really far. That went farther than I thought it would. That went... You'll shoot your eye out, kid. I'll have to retrieve that in a moment here. But anyhow, to get these transformed up into their Voltron mode, we're going to raise that up, collapse the legs. Another piece of engineering that they didn't carry over from the Solo Chigoken that was one of the things that I really, really, really loved about the Solo Chigoken is it's got that heel spur that comes out and really, really helps to hold hold it straight up, support the back of the foot there. And these ones don't have that, but what can you do? This one's just the same. One point of detail that I want to point out. Wow, mouth is not working properly. It's interesting to point out that there's a thing here that the leg butts up against to help keep that in there. And then this one is on the opposite leg. So they'll be able to, like naturally achieve kind of an A stance once you got it all put together. But we're going to get to that in just a moment. So now we've got the arm lions. Where's my other arm? There it is. The green lion and the blue lion. I mean, green and the red. This is red, not blue. That part's blue, but, most of it's red. And they're, again, fairly nice. Lightweight. Same price as the leg lions. I feel like they, if they were gonna ratchet, everything else, they probably should have ratcheted this rotation here. Oh, sun on my beach. So the left line's ratcheted, but the right line isn't. Makes me wonder if maybe something in here is not working the way it should. I don't know. I don't know. If it was my line, I might open it up and see what's up. But it's not my line, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. So yeah. In terms of overall, like, if you look at the overall shape of it, again, you can tell, like, it's really pretty obvious that this is, like, meant to be the exact same sculpt. But I will say that the surface details on the arm lines is different. Like, these surface details in here, they're all different from here. Which is, you know, at least I didn't rip it off fully. But yeah, you don't get another thing. These are just pegged straight on. You don't get any outward movement on them. Whereas you get some really nice, like, the posability of the individual lines is one of the really nice things about the Solid Shigoken ones. And I know that a lot of people are just gonna, like, arbitrarily be like, oh well, the Playmate ones are bigger, which is true. They are much larger. I mean, much larger. But I've always felt that if you've got two things that do the same job, and one of them is smaller, the smaller one is automatically cooler. But let's you know, not forget to point out that this one actually does more than this one. So I still think that Solid Shigoken is the way to go. Though, I mean, that being said, like, the total value of the Playmates Voltron is, like, I don't know, $150 or something like that. I guess it's 18 times 4 plus 30, so whatever that number is how much it is, plus tax, whatever the sales tax in your particular state is. And the Solid Shigoken, if you can find it, is, like, ridiculous prices now, though the MSRP on it was originally like $300 when it came out, but it's worth it. It's so worth it. They're apparently making a knockoff of the original Voltron, and it's not going to be any cheaper. They're making a knockoff of the Solid Shigoken Voltron. And it's not going to be any cheaper than the Solid Shigoken Voltron was, but at least you might be able to find it. Anyhow, fold up the arms, or fold up the legs there, and pull this tab out. That is a big difference between the Solid Shigoken and the Playmates one, is that this tab is separate, which is good, though, because I do kind of like the way the tail looks versus the Solid Shigoken one. And this is a nice sturdy joint. So, I mean, it's important to have it when you have a thing this big. Oh, geez, here I am talking about big things. Now for the Black Lion. The Black Lion is just big and chunky. And he's got, you know, the same sort of articulation as the little lions. Everything's nicely ratcheted. Really nicely ratcheted in terms of the hip joints there. Even the rotation there is ratcheted. Like, geez. If you're a guy who likes ratchets, like, yeah, you should probably go change. Anyhow, he does come with electronics in it. I am always of two minds about electronics, but this one has an off switch. That's one of my favorite things about electronics, to be perfectly honest. And you push this button here.
The galaxy is about to be secure. Form Voltron.
And it makes like a million different phrases.
Form Voltron.
Most of them variations of the same thing.
They'll soon be defeated by Voltron.
Yeah.
Defender of the universe.
Rawr. Oh, one detail that I wanted to point out. So you open up his mouth, and there's, of course, the Voltron face in there. But if you tuck that part up, then he's got the little missile in his mouth. That the Solid Shigoken has. Jeez, it's weird, like, picking these up side by side. because the Solo Chigokin Black Lion weighs like 3 times as much as the big black one. Okay, maybe not. Maybe twice as much. I don't know. I'd have to actually get like a scale. One thing I can say about this is that this is where most of the sculpt differences take place. Like this is almost a unique sculpt here, which is nice. Doesn't have, all the same articulation options that the Solo Chigokin has, but whatever. It's all good. It's all good.
Activate laser blades.
Laser blades. It'd be nice if he came with the guns that go on the shoulders that the Solo Chigokin had, but I can understand that because of his increased size and electronics, that it would cost more, and so they didn't want to throw in too much stuff. He also doesn't come with a mouth blade either, but whatevs. Anyhow, so we've got everything all squared together, so let's form Oh wait, no, I'm gonna have him say it. Nope, that's not it.
We will defend this planet.
Nope. Oh, come on, man.
Lotor, your evil forces will never defeat us.
Okay. Let me see if I can get him to say it again. No.
Hagar's Robeast is about to have a bad day.
Okay, whatever. So, yes, Robeast is about to have a bad day, form Voltron, etc., etc. It's the thing about electronics is that when you end up accidentally bumping them, which you kind of do a lot. Like, for example, back when I got the Revenge of the Fallen Looter class Optimus Prime, he's got this thing where partway through the transformation, it makes the transformation sound, right? And then there's also a button that you press and it's like, I am Optimus Prime. But it's a really finicky joint. And so you end up poking it like all the goddamn time. See, this one, you gotta hold it in the middle, and when you hold it, like, even just like part of your thumb, it's gonna like touch that.
Voltron.
There we go. Now he's saying it. And so it's just so easy to poke that thing. Sorry guys, had a camera mishap and lost some video. Thought my new camera wouldn't do that anymore, but I guess I was wrong. Maybe I should invest in like a dedicated camera instead of just using my smartphone camera. I don't know. Anyhow, so we're gonna do the Voltron combination again.
United we stand. You can count on Voltron. Mega thrusters fully charged. Let's go. Pidge, is that you? Where are you? Green Lion, armed for battle. Glad you're on board, Pidge.
I like it.
Form, arms, and body. Ready to form Voltron. Activate interlock. Dynatherms connected. Infracells up. Mega thrusters are go. Form feet and legs. Form arms and body. And I'll form the head. Go Voltron. Let's go.
And there's Voltron in his combined mode. He's, big. As big as a 16-inch tall Voltron would be, about 16 inches or so. And he's fun. I mean, he hits a lot of the Voltron spots, If you're looking for a good Voltron, you can do worse than this one, He doesn't have, I'm a nerd for engineering, right? And so I really love some of the stuff that went into the Solo Chigokin Voltron. So that's the perfect Voltron for me. But I absolutely believe that this is the perfect Voltron for somebody. Maybe you. I don't know. I don't know you. Maybe we should meet up sometime. The Solo Chigokin, by the way, is also a lot smaller coming in, just basically right up to his belt section there. Weighs about twice as much, but what can you do? Also, another thing that I don't really care for on this Voltron is here's the sword for the Solid Shigoken Voltron, and here's the sword for the Playmates Voltron, and it's a lot shorter, like a lot shorter, even though it's a bigger Voltron. They should have had a proper scale size Voltron. Maybe I'll have to design one on Shapeways or whatnot and see if people are interested in buying it. But yeah, so open up that, stick that in there. There's how he holds his sword, and then he also has his throwing weapon here. Again, same tab system. The throwing weapon actually stays on a lot better than the Solid Shigoken one. As I say that, it comes out. What do they say about Murphy's Law? Yeah. But, and then when he's all combined, he's got...
Pitch, talk to me. Are you hurt? No, I can handle it.
Oh, Pitch can handle it. Yeah.
We've got to hang on somehow.
I trust you, Keith.
The leg trusts you, Keith. But anyhow. But yeah, there's...
Activate laser blade.
I forgot one important thing. I'm sorry, guys. There we go. There we go. V for Voltron. But yeah, all in all, he's a really nice figure. Like I've been saying, it is largely the same engineering as the Legendary Defender Voltron, the 18-inch Legendary Defender Voltron. There are some notable differences. Well, first of all, by the way, like it's similar engineering enough that you can actually take all of the Legendary Defender lions and put them on this one, and it doesn't even know the difference. It's all the same connectors and tabs. One of the things that I do like is that they made this right here. This is now like a button that you press. You press that, and then you can just pull this right out.
Outside and seeing how close they are.
Oh, let me turn this off. Let me... Of course, now that it's in Voltron mode, it's like hiding behind his crest. But if any of you had the Legendary Defender Voltron, you'd know that the arms in particular, were just an absolute bitch to pull off. Like, you had to, like, use your full man strength to get that thing off. And then it comes off, and you're, like, throwing it across the room, and, it was a hassle. But this one, it's got the button, and you just pull it out. And it's really, really nice. So much nicer. Couple of other things. In terms of posability, so a lot of people have been complaining about how like this whole thing rotates, and this is the same engineering that was present in the Legendary Defender version. So I wasn't really surprised to see that. One nice thing is they made it so the eyes don't light up, so you can actually get some neck articulation. They had electronics in the head of the Legendary Defender one, so you couldn't actually move that. But your arms will move around like that. They won't go back any further at all, but I don't know, because this thing moves with the shoulder, like the wing would get in the way of that motion anyhow. You have an elbow joint that goes less than 90 degrees. You have a rotation down here below the elbow. I wish they had kept articulation above the elbow. Like, why? I don't get it. So he's got no bicep rotation at all, but you can go like this. Yay! He's got wrist swivel. This one's ratcheted. This one's not for some reason, but the sword isn't all that heavy, so no issues holding that. No waist articulation whatsoever, probably due to the electronics that are right there. If you're not going to look cool, I don't want you in the shot. In terms of leg articulation, his leg will move forward all the way and backwards some of the way and outwards like 35% of a Van Damme. His leg articulation is actually pretty nice because he's got this joint down here. Oh, shoot. Yeah, leg articulation is pretty nice because he's got this joint down here, which is the actual knee joint for, but then he's got this joint right here. And so it allows like a pretty deep bend on the knee, which is nice. No ankle articulation whatsoever. His toe does move around a little bit. So when you get him into a stance, like you can, if you get him into a stance that he'll want to stand in, you can kind of like move the toes so that they're, flatter looking. It gives a good appearance of ankle articulation, but it is not the same as actual ankle articulation. But whatevs, he costs half as much as a Voltron with actual ankle articulation. What do you really expect? But all in all, I think that it's a good Voltron. It's one that's in the stores now. If you've been looking for one and you thought that maybe the Solar Chigoken was too expensive, or maybe like the Infinity Goken was too expensive or didn't quite hit it for you, or like the Toynami EX Ultimate EX Voltron was like way too expensive, like this is probably going to be the way to go. He's big, he's fairly posable, he's a decently made figure, and he's certainly worth it for the price, I think. But anyhow, that's it for this review today. I'm gonna go before I kill my camera again. And everybody, thanks for watching. You're all awesome. Be good to each other, and I will see you next time.